Okay, welcome. This is a tutorial on how to set up a Minecraft server, vanilla, modded, pretty much any kind except for paper. And I will be walking you through setting up your VPS if you have one. That's one of the prerequisites. If you have a domain name, fantastic. You can use it to connect to the server at the end of this or to connect to any of the add-ons we're going to install. So we're going to install mods like BlueMap, simple voice chat, a panel so you can manage your server made by yours truly. Yeah, all this is going to be done with an installer that I have here on GitHub. Domain names. It's not needed if you're fine connecting by IP, and you have to do a trick, okay? That's basically it. So there's one extra step if you don't have a domain name to access everything you're going to install today. At the very end, when your server is installed, in the summary, it'll print to you the command you got to run to see your map, your panel, everything. But if you do have a domain name, I recommend transferring it over to Cloudflare. They filter your traffic for bots and spam. You can keep using whatever name servers you want, but I really recommend transferring to Cloudflare for all those features. They're free as well. It's a free plan. Now for the VPSs, I've got a bunch of tabs open. Yeah, instead of showing you all of these, I'll just show you that the ones that I found with the best hardware are all sold out. Let me refresh. So yeah, out of stock, which sucks. If you're in Europe, there's even less options. Another American option, I've never heard of them, but they have good CPUs. The reason I mention CPUs is, are you interested in heavily modded and high player counts? Then you have to be very careful with the VPS that you buy. Otherwise, if you're okay with like moderate player counts but also modded and you want to save some money, go with Hostinger. That's what I recommend for this video and tutorial. It's what I'll be using. Once you do buy a VPS, make sure you install the right operating system, latest stable release of Ubuntu. Yeah, so let's SSH in and do the first step. If you're on Windows, just follow along inside of PowerShell. We want to copy paste this. You'll be asked this, you're going to type yes, and now your computer is going to recognize that server that you're SSHing into. Enter the password that is either emailed to you when you purchased the VPS or that you entered when you bought it. What it looks like when you buy it, you'll create a password, or if you know what you're doing, you can insert an SSH key. You will have to generate the key, but inserting it will be done by this project here. So let's keep going. Okay, so once you are in and you've typed your password, you need to add a user. So, and not just any user, we need to add a user with sudo privileges. I'm going to name this guy Quack. You need to enter a password. You need to re-enter it. Then it's going to ask you a bunch of questions. Answer yes there, but you can leave all that blank. Then we have to make that user a sudo user. Everything that I'm typing is coming from the left side here, okay? Just replace the placeholders with your user, your IP, etc. The user was called Quack. Nice. Now, after you're done with that, you can open up a new window and SSH back into the box. But instead of typing root like we did last time, you type the user you just created. And it's going to ask you for the new password you just made. I know that's a lot of passwords to keep track of, but you only really need to know the password you've just created for your new user. And you use that every time you SSH into this box now. Yeah, the other one's more for like a recovery. But anyways, grab the URL. We're done with these. Paste it. It'll ask you for your password again. And the installer is now starting. The very first step of the installer is to harden the VPS. If you remember the screenshot that I showed you, it asked for an SSH key. If you already did that because you know what you're doing, maybe it's possible, this step will skip in the installer, but we're going to do it. Now you're provided with a bunch of commands here. If you're on Mac, if you're on Windows, if you're on Linux, and the most important one is this one. So you're going to run this in a new window and it's going to generate a private key, or sorry, a public key. It's going to generate both. And then you're going to grab the public key with one of these commands, whichever one applies to your machine. So mine is going to be Mac. I'm going to open up a new terminal. Now it's on my clipboard and it's okay. This is a public key, so it's okay to share this. Yeah, never paste the private one. This is warning you not to do that. You can press enter and this will insert the private key onto the VPS. And now when you SSH from this computer, you won't be prompted for a password anymore because this key identifies you since you generated it from your device. So it's going to ask you, did you open up a new window in SSH? Well, let's try. Yep, it worked. And so we just type yes. And now we want to pick a folder to put all of our servers into. You want to create a new folder inside, you can press whatever you want here. I recommend pressing yes on the fresh VPS so you're not littering your home directory. So you're creating a folder inside of home basically. And then you can name this whatever you want. This is your folder name, Minecraft servers. And then you actually get to name the server itself. If you enter a name that already exists, it'll take you to a screen where you get to like either update your server to a new version, and it'll update all your mods too if they're on mod, or you'll get the option to restore a backup. I'm not going to go through that in today's video. You'll have to watch my my next upload. It's going to be going over my panel that I made. Yeah, if you do happen to install my plugin, that's a panel. It'll help you manage your server. I'll make a video more on how to do that. Pick a name, SMP, Neoforge. You can pick anything. And I'm going to pick the lowest version so I can show you guys how to upgrade. No mod pack needed. And this is the fun part. This is where you get to pick, what does my installer configure? If you want BlueMap, simple voice chat, enable crossplay with Bedrock. Let's do all of them. Press enter. Now you got to select how much RAM you want. Minimum and maximum. I put 2 as the minimum, 6 as the maximum. Doesn't matter what you do. Just make sure it's within the limits of your box that you purchased earlier. Now is the domain. I already explained the trade-offs of having a domain or not. If you don't have one, at the very end when your server gets installed, it'll give you the command to type so you can access your website still. quackmod.wiki. The next is going to ask you for an email. This is for the web server. It's not needed. It's completely optional. Minecraft. You can use default or change it. This is the map port, a voice chat port, and then the geyser port. Now, obviously, Bedrock will not be able to use voice chat because that's client-sided, but it also has to be installed on the server and configured, which is why it's part of this process. And now you have to select the subdomain. This is how you connect to your map.quackmod.wiki. Takes you to my map, but if you type in status, it takes you to the panel. And so we're gonna have to pick a subdomain now for the map. Map's already taken, so we're gonna go with map-smp. If this version of Minecraft had a release for my panel, you would have had the option to install it as well, and also to configure it. It's not available. I'm gonna pause while this is installing. I'll be back. The server is installed. It's up and running. So let's read the summary. It says everything is running. It gives you the address. It tells you actually also how to set up on Cloudflare the records under your domain name. Web add-ons, where is it? Yeah, it's right here. So this is how to join. This is the map that we installed. If you installed the panel, you would see another instruction for that as well. If you didn't provide a domain, this is where the command would be to still access all of these things. Let's check it out. Outdated geyser proxy. Oh, you know what? I forgot. We're going to update the server, guys. So let's run the thing again. You don't have to paste a link. You can just type sudo quack VPS if you want to run it again. Let's select the folder with our servers in it. You're going to press no this time because it's not a fresh VPS anymore. And the server was called SMP. Provide the same exact name. And now you'll see a new prompt. Update the server, restore your world backup. This only works if the backups were created with my plugin, quack.smp. So let's go with update it in its place. We are going to go to the latest version. And then it's going to also upgrade 4 mods in the mods folder. Yes. I'll be back when this is done. All right, that concludes the tutorial. It set up the server. Let's connect. So this is proving that Bedrock can connect to the Java server. You want to see the maps work, you just need to add the records to Cloudflare or whatever you got for your name server. I don't understand why there's a witch in Spawn. But anyways, it worked. Thank you for watching. If you have any trouble with the tool for the map, for example, if you struggle to connect to it, it tells you how to deal with Cloudflare, how to run a command on the VPS, reload Caddy. This is useful. Yeah, everything should be smooth though, as far as the server is concerned. This is the only thing you will run into. If you do everything perfectly, this is unavoidable. You just need to turn off the little cloud, the orange cloud on Cloudflare, run Caddy reload right here, and then turn it back on once you're able to connect. That's basically it. All right, so I saw that while editing, the end of the video got a little confusing when I started talking about the troubleshooting steps. So I'm just going to show you right now. It's not connected, right? It's not working. And this is the same one that I set up earlier in the tutorial. So I'm just going to turn this off, save, reload Caddy, and then you run this on the VPS. So directly here. Then this should just work pretty soon here. Yep, there you go. Literally instantly almost. Finally, for your game server record, this one right here, make sure the cloud is off always. All right. Cheers. That's written right here. Just follow everything in the summary and you should be fine. Thank you for watching.